It's time for Remodel Revolution. And now, an award-winning contractor with over 40 years experience. Here is Alex Guthrie.
Welcome to another episode of Remodel Revolution. We're coming to you live from the world headquarters of Remodel Revolution, deep in the heart of Texas. And it's another beautiful day to be in the great state of Texas. We all are happy to be here. Hey, I've got a great, my co-host today is Mr. Steve Lawton. Hello, Mr. Lawton. How are you?
Great, Alex. Finally got rid of all those leftover turkey and dressing.
I threw the dressing out. I had to throw the dressing out. I was not, we didn't take a vote on it. I'll put it that way. I just dumped it. It was time to
Move on.
Yeah, depart from all the poisonous Thanksgiving. This show is happening the week after Thanksgiving. That's what that's all about. Our special guest today is none other than the very talented and one of Dallas's finest designers, Denise McGahey, Denise McGahey Interiors. She's going to be on in a few minutes with us, and we're going to talk about all kinds of fun stuff, including her journey, which is really amazing. But first of all, I have a question for Ziggy and Steve. Do you like fruitcakes? Do you like fruitcake? Ziggy?
Just the pecans off the top.
I don't think I've ever eaten a fruitcake, so I think that's a no.
Oh my gosh. Well, I have one. I've had it since 1995, and I've been trying to find a home for it, but sadly, I've eaten all the pecans off of it, so Steve doesn't get it.
Yay.
So Ziggy, would you like an old fruitcake from 1995? Because you know they'll last forever.
I
Yeah,
like don't think
corn.
that's the case.
There's just something in it.
Well, it's that time of year, man, and
Yeah,
I'm trying to share the love. So here's a news flash. I was going over the internet and looking at stuff yesterday, and I found this. I thought it was really amazing. I think Denise will appreciate this. The health officials are now telling us that engineered stone countertops present no health risk for homeowners. Now, isn't that nonsense? We put them in about 5 million houses. I'm glad to know that. Well, thank you very much. Oh my gosh, I see these guys, and if you go to our YouTube channel at Remodel Revolution, you'll see that I have a couple of YouTubes put up that are guys actually fabricating on the job with this stuff, and I don't believe they might tie a little rag around their head or something. The silica dust is really dangerous, so if you guys are working on any man-made material in particular, really any of this stuff, but the quartz and stuff that they're fabricating, don't go breathe the dust. Don't breathe the dust. It's not good for you. So the big question today is, have you hugged your fridge today?
I have not hugged it today, Alex. I'm sorry.
Have you snuggled with your dishwasher?
I have not done that either.
Ziggy? No dishwasher, fridge, no love? No? Okay, well, it might not be your fault because a new study came out that said appliances are struggling to bond with customers.
Mm.
And
Is that because they're not connected?
They're not connecting. The appliance industry ranks 13th out of 15 industries studied for brand intimacy. This is what caught my eye. It measures the emotional bonds people have, or people form with products in their appliances. And so apparently we're not bonding properly with our appliances now.
Well, I'm in a personal relationship with my shower.
It's the largest study of its kind, and it found that the appliance industry continues to struggle to connect to customers emotionally. So the only time I have an emotional customer in an appliance is when it's not working.
Yes.
And I've had plenty of those.
Then they talk to it a lot.
Yeah. Then they become real friendly or unfriendly as the case may be. It says customers don't have relationships with brands like they used to. And we're going to interview a designer, a friend of mine that's in LA, and she just published an article in Remodel magazine or something. And she's talking about, she calls it the democratization of brands. And I thought it was a very fascinating article. She's a brilliant lady. And essentially the idea here is that where we used to have specific appliance centers that we had to go to get these high-end brands, now you can walk into any box store and they're all there. Even the ones we used to consider super high-end, KitchenAid, Whirlpool, pretty much all of them have gone to this big commercial deal, or a big consumer type, where you can buy them anywhere. So
Yeah, Wolf, Thermador, Viking, all of them you can walk into the big box stores now and order.
right, and
You may
so
not be able to take it home with you right then and there,
Yeah.
but it's available.
well, and the interesting thing is that it kind of takes a little bit of the shine off. You know, it sort of makes it more of a common thing. And you know, I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but it just sort of is what it is. So I had an email, and I was going to ask Steve about this. I have a client or not a client, but a listener that is trying to hook up a thermostat to an old thermostat wire, trying to hook up a new digital thermostat to an old wire. Now, I'm asking Steve this because Steve is Total Air and Heat. He is the man when it comes to air conditioning. But sometimes you'll have an old system, and some of these digital thermostats aren't really compatible with it without making some changes.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right, Alex. You got to know where to start. First thing you got to determine is your system a gas heating system, an electric heating system, or a heat pump system? Because that's going to determine how many wires are typically ran to the thermostat. Mixed in on top of that is some thermostats require what we call a common wire. So thermostats that are strictly battery operated typically work off of 4 wires if it's a gas or electric heat. A couple more than that if it's a heat pump, but you're going to need a common wire ran to it. So if you're trying to do it yourself, that's where to start. Is before you go buy a thermostat, find out how many wires run to the thermostat subbase.
So let's clarify that. So when you're talking about how many wires run to it, you've got one basically brown thermostat wire.
Right.
And we're talking about how many little wires are
Right.
inside that one, right?
Yes,
Okay.
basically where the little hole in the wall is where the subbase mounts, that cable or thermostat wires coming out, and you just need to count how many wires are there. In some cases, you have extra wires that are there that haven't been used. And then you need to look at the new thermostat wiring schematic and find out how many wires it requires to operate. Once you've done that, then the rest of it should be fairly straightforward. As always, we're available to help you with that if you want to give us a call.
Well, this was interesting because this was a unit, this apartment we were in was built in the 50s. And it's a water, it's a system basically
Chiller.
circulates. Yeah, it's a chiller system.
Chiller and boiler.
Right. And so we wanted to put a new thermostat, but it's only a two-wire thermostat wire. And so there was a little bit of an issue with whether or not that was going to work. And
Well,
I know
this
that's
is
not
true.
really uncommon. You know, that happens a lot.
Yeah, in apartment complexes, it's very common to have a 2-wire thermostat because all they're doing is what is called a 2-pipe system, where either there's cold water running through it or hot water running through it, and it's not easy to switch seasons. You got to decide when you're going to have one or the other, and so all that thermostat does is turn on the blower for the system and open or close the little valve in the water line.
So it's just an on and off. It's just an on and off.
For the most
kind of
part,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I just wanted to get that answer today for that person. I didn't write down their name, but maybe next week I'll remember to do that. So thanks for that answer. I was going to wait a little while, but I got to talking to Denise before the show, and we started visiting about her journey from a little Texas country girl in East Texas, Southeast Texas, to being a really renowned and respected designer. And it was a fascinating story. And so I want to go ahead and introduce our guest today, Denise McGahey of Denise McGahey Interiors. I'm so glad you could be here. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thanks
Thank you
for
for having
coming in. You are, you've had an interesting journey to get from,
I have.
where were you born? What was the name of that little stop on the side of the road?
I was actually born in Bryan, Texas.
Oh, you were born
but
in Bryan.
When I was 5 years old, we moved to a small town by the name of Gause, Texas.
How do you spell that?
Gause.
Oh, okay.
Population 250, I think. So small, tiny town. We lived 3 miles out on a dirt road. So
So were you you a farm girl?
we didn't use the terminology farm. We were more ranch family, and so we had livestock. We did not raise crops.
But you were a barrel racer?
I did. I raced barrels and did pole bending for a short time. I was a 4-H girl,
So there's a distinction
was
between
fun.
pole bending and pole dancing.
Yeah, very
okay.
much so.
Sorry, I couldn't resist. So tell us some more about your journey. And so you come out of that small town and where'd you end up at
I couldn't
A&M?
wait to leave, honestly.
couldn't wait?
I was ready to leave.
You're ready to
small
go.
town America. Yeah, I moved out on the Saturday after high school graduation, so I had a plan. I didn't think that a small town was what I was looking for, but I went to A&M on a Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo scholarship, and got a degree in agricultural economics. And when I interviewed, I knew I wanted to live in a big city. So Dallas was obviously a focus for me. And I interviewed with several companies, Neiman Marcus being one of them, and that they're based here. But they wouldn't hire me because I had no retail experience. So I got some retail experience at Wolf Garden Centers here, managing their lawn and garden retail stores. And then I went back to Neiman's and started my career there and was there for 7 years.
And so you had an interesting opportunity at Neiman's that actually kind of boosted your whole customer, learning how to deal with customers and learning how to run a business. Tell us about that.
Well, there were several opportunities there. First, I was a private label cashmere clerical in that buying office. So I learned a lot about making your own products. And then private labeling them with your brand. I was a designer jewelry buyer, so I really got to understand the maker movement. We were in the artisan area, so we grew brands, small brands, and really I learned a lot about creativity and artisanship during that role. And then I moved into the customer loyalty and marketing area of Neiman Marcus. So I learned a lot about our number one highest customers in Encircle, people that spent $1 million or more a year with Neiman Marcus. And that whole luxury market, private jets, multiple homes, outfitting your wardrobe for multiple climates, really, really, kind of that 1%er mentality of luxury. And then I worked on the team that launched NeimanMarcus.com. So I learned a lot about e-commerce. I learned a lot about selling online and how to market and just what the internet was all about in the early 2000s.
Well, that is totally amazing.
That's
So
great.
when did you get to, you just woke up one day and said, I'm just going to start an interior design business.
Well,
I'm
it
done
kind of
with all
sounds
this.
like that when you hear the story and what it was about, but it was a little more involved than that. But my husband and I built a house during that time, and the process was horribly broken. It was really frustrating for me to make all of those decisions and not have any knowledge about them or anyone to guide me. The builder basically gave us a list of allowances and a couple of places we could go shop, and that's what we did.
That's
And
what I do. What's wrong with that?
it was a struggle. I felt like there needed to be a little more guidance along the way. I mean, I was used to giving luxury service and holding people's hand as they walked through the process. So I left Neiman's and went to work for Sprint for a couple of years before 9/11 and learned a ton about process management, and that layered that on to my learnings in the luxury market. And when 9/11 happened and my son was 5 days old, my firstborn, I really had a lot of time to sit at home and think about what my next move was going to be in my life. I think that was a big turning point for me to decide to follow my passion. So I did. I was offered a job in Kansas City after 9/11 because my entire Dallas office was closed and I laid off a huge team of people. And I took a severance package and decided to start my own business.
Wow. But honestly, that's how a lot of people end up going into business for themselves. So a lot of it's necessity, and you're fortunate you had a passion,
I
and
did.
of course, you had great training.
Talent.
I mean, you have the talent and all that stuff, but the biggest encumbrance to most small business is people don't understand process. They don't understand really how to manage that and turn it into something. Now, Steve's family did the same thing.
Yes.
His dad started in probably kind of the same way, out of necessity, you start and then you build, and it needs to be passion. You have to be passionate
Yep.
about business you're going to start.
Agree.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And, you also got to have a steady income coming in typically. when you're
Somebody's
trying
got to have a job in the house.
Start up the business.
That's
Absolutely.
right. That's right. So we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to continue. We're going to grill Denise. She just thought she was going to get these little puffball questions.
I
but
look forward to it.
We're going to grill
It'll
her.
be great.
We're going to grill her. Stay tuned. We'll be right back in 1 minute. The hardest working and arguably most important system in our homes is our air conditioning and heating system. It heats the air, it cools the air, and it filters the air. That's why it's so critical to have it checked and maintained by the very best professionals available. It's time to contact Total Air and Heat at totalair.com. Get that system pruned and tuned. If you want to have the very best experience, you've got to hire the very best company. Total Air's employees are honest, well-trained, and thoroughly background checked. I never have to worry about sending their technicians out to my clients' homes. Family owned and operated for 3 generations, Total Air and Heat has been a fixture in North Dallas for over 60 years. Total Air is a proud dealer of the Trane air conditioning systems, and you know how hard it is to stop a Trane, so give them a call at 972-881-0020. That's 972-881-0020, or contact them at totalair.com today. It's really amazing to be able to have these stories, these journeys from people that have started basically out of necessity or passion or whatever it is, that started businesses and have super successful businesses like Denise McGahey. And I'm so privileged to have her with us today, where she's just a joy, and she's an amazing person that has built a super successful business, really kind of out of necessity. Is how it got started, and passion. But the one thing we haven't asked her, we've asked her a couple of little, sweet little questions. Do you like fruitcakes?
My mother-in-law makes an amazing fruit
So
cake.
you must love them.
Well, my husband loves them. She keeps them in the freezer. It doesn't look like that fruit cake,
yeah,
though.
baby. Yeah, baby.
Hers has a lot of coconut and not as much
Yeah.
dried fruit, but it is delicious.
I grew up having being force-fed fruitcake.
It's a family
But
tradition.
I did a house for the McNutts, who own the Collins Street Bakery, and this is a long time ago. And I think they both passed away by now. But anyway, I asked her why she decided to hire me, and she said, "You were the only contractor that came in and didn't make a fruitcake joke."
That's great.
And I said, "Oh, we're going to be friends." But that was a long time ago, and I actually like fruitcakes. I just pick the parts out I don't like.
Sure.
So here's a question for Denise that a lot of us get in this industry, and I don't know. I'm afraid to answer it when I have a client tell me that they want something timeless. And I feel like I'm being set up. I don't know what timeless is. I know things that last forever, but I don't know if they're timeless. So Denise, when you have a client that says, "I want a timeless finish," how do you define that?
I tell people there's no such thing as timeless. There's classic. But no design is meant to stay the same for 50, 60, 70 years. That's why we have businesses. I mean, that's why remodeling exists. You should update your home to make it marketable and to be, functional as it relates to technology even. You're talking about air conditioning units needing to be, digital or, products being updated. There's nothing that's timeless. There's classic design, but you should never design something with the intention that it's going to stay that way for the next 30 years.
That's an interesting answer, and I absolutely agree with it because it keeps me in business. I hate timeless. Timeless puts me on the street, man. I want it.
There's no
want
such
you to
thing
make it change.
in fashion or home.
And I totally agree with that. I'm still wearing the same blue jeans that I wore 35 years ago because it keeps coming back around.
I'm not. Mine are much larger.
No, mine are larger, but they're still blue.
Obviously, things change over time. As Denise has said, is also there's things that are classic and always will be fashionable or fit in a home design.
Well, and what I know Denise and I deal with a lot is generational trends where like I know that my clients that I worked for 30 years ago, I'm now working for their kids, and they have a totally different the new generation, that 30 to 40-year-old requirements are totally different. What are you finding?
Well, I don't think anyone ever wants to be designing what their mother had.
Well,
I
that's
didn't.
true. That's
I
true.
didn't. You didn't. I grew up in the 70s, with avocado and marigold and all of those great kitchen colors.
The ones that
And
are coming back now?
exactly, they are. But I struggle with the color yellow. My bedroom was yellow gingham check growing up, So I think there are things that culturally we don't want to be like our mom. We want to be different and have our own identity. And I think that's a designer's job. We're looking to find an identity that our client can associate with, and we design for that.
Okay, so here's a couple of the trends, just real quick, that I keep reading about 2020 trends that I think are interesting. One is bright brass. Are we coming back to bright brass?
I love bright brass.
You do?
I do. I like bright brass. I think you mix it. I don't think we go whole hog like we did in the 80s and every single thing's bright brass, but I love a splash of bright brass and bright rose gold too. I think
I love rose gold.
Those are really beautiful.
No, I do.
And
I
lovely.
think it's a very classy,
Yeah.
classy.
I mean, my
finish.
glasses are rose gold,
Yeah,
and the color of the tint on my lens. So
I didn't know.
life through rose-colored glasses is beautiful.
I've been accused of that too. Matte black, I read, is coming in style. Now, I've seen a lot of pickup trucks driving around that are matte black now. And I don't know if what they're trying to do, but matte black.
Oh yeah, and we see it in plumbing faucets. The whole industrial trend of steel. You're seeing lots of steel windows and doors. I think matte black comes from that. You're also seeing those leathered finishes
Yes.
on granite, which looks really great in dark colors, and it follows that matte black trend. I don't like the word trend though.
You don't?
No,
What do you prefer?
it's a style.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Shaker doors.
Right?
Are we going to do shaker doors everywhere forever?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. I think that they are definitely here to stay. I do what I call a shaker with a bead. We like to customize ours a little bit and make them unique. But yeah, just that basic panel around the door. Yeah.
Well, no, I've noticed I'm doing one right now, and there's an extra little detail around it,
Yeah,
and
that's what I like.
for a few years it was just this basically what my great grandparents had in their farm.
Right.
It was the same kind of thing, and I thought, and then we went to the raised panel, and we all got tired of that because it was just too bulky. And so I was just curious because it seems like all we're doing now are these shaker doors. Okay, there's now I know that you are a trend setter. You are not a trend follower.
That is true.
Okay, all right. So there's all these predictions coming out.
Okay.
The
What do they say?
2020. Well, a lot.
I haven't
of
read
what,
any of them.
A lot of what we just talked about. But what I wanted to ask you is, I know that a lot of us compete with the internet. You know, we're kind of competing with what our clients are seeing on the internet, particularly with, I will use that word you don't like, trends or styles, whatever you want to call it. I like styles. Do you find that you're having to compete with the internet with your clients?
I think we approach design a little bit differently. When people have seen something on the internet, it's really more of a mood that we want to understand that they're interested in. And then it's our job to individualize that feeling for them so that it feels unique to them. We don't copy what we find. We take that influence and then we develop it where we feel like it makes sense for that family.
So you're sort of adjusting it. I understand what you're saying. You're
Like
just
we're
you're kind
styling
of
their
using
lifestyle.
it. You're using it as part of the process to get
Correct.
to.
It's a tool
It's
for
a
us.
tool. It's a tool. I like that. I like that.
Kind of reminds me when my wife was looking to change hairstyles and she find a picture of a hairstyle she liked. She'd take that to the person doing her hair, and then they would in turn maybe use that as an influence, but make it her own.
So you have
What
to.
you're saying.
You have to.
Yeah.
Do we have a wig, a blonde wig that we could put
No,
on
I-
Alex so we could demonstrate
Okay.
what we're talking
Thank
about?
you very much. I'll just let you know.
Where we layer in
I
the
got
look.
I got my hairstyle at the bowling alley.
Try it on
Yeah.
for size. Because I do think you have to try it on like a coat and see how it feels.
You know what? I've got a little fuzz right here today. I left that on there for Denise. You can kind of see. It gives me that little.
But you know, there are certain things that may look great on someone else or that may look great in a room that will not work for your room or your home. And here are the 14 reasons why.
We're going to have to take a quick break. I'm sorry. I just looked at the clock. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, more with Denise McGahey and Mr. Steve Lawton and me, Alex Guthrie. I'm the host. We'll be right back. Sometimes it's a question of do I call or don't I call the foundation repair company? Well, what if I tell you that I know a foundation repair company that will tell you if you don't need foundation repair? That's right. Hargrave and Hargrave Foundation Repair has been in business for over 50 years, and they know the difference. One of the last family-owned foundation repair businesses in North Texas. Not only are they honest, they know what causes your foundation to move, and they know how to fix it. Don't be duped by fly-by-night foundation companies that provide shortcuts and messy fixes. Call Hargrave and Hargrave Foundation Repair at 972-442-3415. At the first sign of trouble, Hargrave uses the Chance helical pier system exclusively because it's the highest quality, most reliable helical pier money can buy. 972-442-3415 or contact them at hargravefoundation.com. We're here with Denise McGahey and Steve Lawton. We're having a great time today on this show. As always, thanks for being here. Remodel Revolution can be heard on all of your podcast sites. This show will be up either tonight or tomorrow when I get to it. Also, you can go to YouTube Live, and you can go to, of course, Facebook and watch this show. It'll be replayed, republished. You can go to Denise's website. She'll have it on there. And also Steve's website. So we're all working together on these things. And thanks for being here with us today. Are you tired of white countertops yet? No? You like them?
I do.
Yeah?
I really do. I think they fall into the category of classic.
Okay.
Now, I prefer real marble when I'm doing white countertops, Italian marbles specifically because of all the veining. But I love white.
So do you like, now I love Carrara marble.
Yeah.
I've put it everywhere. I love it. I think it's a beautiful, and the thing that I have found that it fascinates me with it is the first thing that I think about with white marble is high maintenance, staining, all this horrible stuff. That's not really true.
It's not.
I
love mine.
I did a kitchen about 15 years ago, and she wanted Carrara marble. And I said, "You're out of your mind. You're crazy because you drink wine, you cook a lot. That stuff doesn't look terrible 5 years." And I've been back in that house, and it looks fantastic. And I asked her what she did. She said, "I don't do anything. I just clean it."
And the same here. We cook quite a bit, and I actually love when it has a little bit of patina and looks lived in and
I
loved.
totally agree with you.
I'm all for that.
Now, I wanted to talk to you about Christmas tree decorations.
Okay.
I think now we're coming up on Christmas, and the Christmas trees are very special. Of course, I used to decorate a Christmas tree while my mother-in-law was alive so that she would have something to do the next day, which was redecorate the Christmas tree, because that's what she did. That's what she loved to do. Do you do Christmas tree decorations for your clients? Did they ask you to do that?
Only my favorite clients, but yeah.
Only your favorite clients? So how
have
do
a
you,
couple.
what is is there a formula, or is it just real personal?
You know, I think Christmas trees are interesting in that we've been asked to, and when people say, "I can't believe you do holiday decor," I said, we've designed the entire home. We have created a look for them. They're inviting their family. They're inviting some of their closest friends. If you're running a business, you understand that your hallmark or your trademark in the design world is your work, and you're showing your work. You don't want them to bring in this horrible, ugly tree or put nasty ornaments on it and ruin the look of the room. It's all about the look of the space. And so having control over that and helping them create something that looks beautiful in the space, that's festive, is meaningful as well, is what we bring to the
So
table.
chili
I do
peppers
it.
and whiskey
No.
bottles?
No.
No.
Now, if you want to have a whimsical tree in a different room that works for, if it's in the smoking
the man
lounge
cave.
or the
Man-
bar
the man cave.
versus
Yeah.
absolutely. I'm totally for that. We have a client that has a tree that is just for her grandchildren.
Sure.
And it has photos of them either when they were born or even their sonogram photos.
Their
before they were
sonogram
born. Yes,
photos.
and they're framed in these sweet little frames. And when the kids arrive every year, they bring an ornament for the tree, and with their photo in it, and you get to see. She has 9 grandchildren, so they have grown up over the years, and the tree just gets more and more full. And
Well,
that
that's
tree's really
cool.
sweet. So I think that you can have that sentiment in there. I'm not a fan of big, bright, colorful trees. Mine are much more natural and organic. I love a fresh tree if you don't have allergies. I just put a flocked tree in my house, and
Really?
it is heavily flocked.
What
White,
color?
white, all white,
All white.
and beautiful, simple ornaments. And so I love that.
Yeah, the only problem with flock trees is they don't make good crappie brush in the lake.
No.
The crappie don't
Always
like
got
the
fishing in
flocking.
mind.
And mine is actually a faux tree, so it will live on.
Oh, well, that's better. That's
it's better.
better. I get my little $20 faux tree, little plastic one that we put on. We're not. I actually like the one that's already got the lights on it and everything. You just
Mine's
pull it out of
pre-lit.
the box.
I think
put
that's
it,
it's a big
no,
thing, but that only lasts about a year and a half, and
Yeah.
then the lights go out.
Yes,
Right in
yeah.
the middle,
Just like
normally, or on the top.
just like my lights. So what do you do do you guys do a big natural tree and because you got a bunch of grandkids?
We do. As my kids were growing up, I used to buy them those different kind of Hallmark decorations that I'd get them an ornament each year for Christmas. And so we've got all of those, and we have a tree for that and the grandkids, as is mentioned. And then we have the traditional artificial tree. And I've had it both ways where it was pre-lit. I mean, I had one where I had a set of lights because individual branches were removable, where each branch had its own set of lights. So if those lights went out, I had just one branch to fix. But, that tree got old, so we've moved on. Pre-lit, typically.
Yeah, I had natural trees all my life, and then
love that.
I love them, love the smell of them and all that. And then my mother decided one year, no, it was we'd take the cutoffs and do the garland on the mantle. So my mother decided to just shove it all in the fireplace, and
Wow.
the fire department got to meet them that day.
Yeah, I bet.
The chimney caught on fire from the inside, and so you're sitting, you hear this rumble, And you're like, uh-oh. So don't do that. Don't do that. Don't put your Christmas tree branches in the fireplace. It's dumb.
But do recycle your Christmas tree.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. You can, a lot of the cities have that. You can take them, you can then come back and get the mulch from them. I highly recommend that. Or put it in the tank for crappie fishing.
crappie
Absolutely.
But do
Well, it's not just
recycle it. Don't
crappie
put it on
either.
the curb.
Yeah, and some cities will pick them up to recycle
They
on the
do.
curb. Yeah, so just check with your city, see what they'll do. But that's great. I really like that a lot. So, are there such things as holiday trends, design wise?
There's that word again.
Style.
No. Yeah, there is definitely holiday style. There are things that we do around the holidays that everyone does. You have a special set of dishes that you bring out, or you want to take all of your blankets and throws out and change the pillows on the sofa. I think that there's a winter and a summer look. You can do those types of things. We moved our furniture around recently, and our dining room table's now in the living room next to the fireplace because that's what I wanted this year. We got a new mantle, and I wanted everyone to sit around the fire while we had Christmas morning brunch. And so
Fantastic.
there are definitely things that you can do to change your home for the holidays other than just decorating.
Other than just decorating.
Christmas decor,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. Well, that's really great. Wow, this has been really fun. You're
Thank
an
you for having me.
amazing person. You're an amazing lady. What a great journey you've had.
It's been fun.
Yeah. And you deserve all the success you'll get because you've really earned it.
Thank
You've
you.
really
Thank
done
you.
it. Denise McGahey Designs. We're so glad she was here with us today. And listen, if you are doing a remodel or even a new home and you're looking for a contractor, check out Alex Guthrie Construction. We do high-end remodeling. We can build you a house. We can update your house. We kind of do it all. So give us a call or contact me at alex@alexguthrie.net. Call me at 469-446-8508. Send me a message at info@alexguthrie.net or alex@alexguthrie.net, or you can contact me through this show at alex@remodelrev.com. Check out our website, check out our blog. We've got it all. It's all there. Steve Lawton, tell us a little bit about Total Air and Heat. Give us the down and dirty on when Total Air and Heat started. Your dad started it. You've got a lot of history.
My dad started the company over in South Dallas in 1957. The main reason why he actually started doing air conditioning work, he was trained in air conditioning when he went to school, but he worked at Vought Aerospace. So his brother and my dad both worked at Vought Aerospace, and my dad and his brother both had a Fox and Jacobs home that had central heat but not central air. And here we are living in Texas. So my dad knew the air conditioning side of it. His brother knew the electrical side of it. So they basically put it in my dad's house first and his brother's house second. And the neighbors saw him doing it and said, "We want that too."
So it started out like a
business was
neighborhood
born.
project, like a
business was born.
helping out the neighbors.
Exactly. You know, my dad eventually retired from Vought Aerospace, took an early retirement, and ran our company full time. I joined the company back in around 1987, and my son is now working there too. So we got 3 generations, and we've got 3 grandsons. Hopefully, we'll be able to get Gen 4 involved in there when it's time.
Wow, that's an amazing story. It really is. This show is about small business, and it's about small companies and people that are in the industry. We interview people from all over the country that have great stories about how they're running their businesses, their successes, the quality of things that we're doing. We like to talk about styles, trends. I don't want to make Denise mad at me again twice in one show, so we'll call it styles. But current things that are going on in the industry. And I think that we're trying to provide a service that will kind of inform you and entertain you. So we hope you're enjoying it. One of the other things that I wanted to talk about, and I missed this, so I wanted to actually run it by Denise as well. She's still here with us, is this article I found that says that respondents underestimated their kitchen remodels by an average of about $10,000. What is your reaction to that?
That's pretty small,
Yeah, yeah.
honestly.
So what do you think a kitchen, in your world, what does a kitchen cost to remodel? Let's just say you go in
I think we're probably not, the norm, but when I go to look at a kitchen remodel or someone's redoing their space and I ask what their budget is, anything under $80,000 is probably not a fit for our firm. But I would, because we're putting in Sub-Zero Wolf packages, I mean, that's a $60,000 appliance package right out of the gate. That doesn't have anything to do with countertops or
and that's what
anything.
that's what I tell people all the
start
time.
with the appliances.
Your appliances are
Big portion of that.
huge. I mean, appliances, and okay, let's talk about how appliance packages work now. Because for us to get any sort of a break on the price, we have to buy a package.
You do.
At least 4 or 5 pieces that's different with different manufacturers. Manufacturers control that pricing.
They do.
And so if
It's
you
a
want
commodity.
Exactly. So if you want to upgrade your appliances, then and you're remodeling your kitchen, you have to take that into account. So when people are telling me they've got these budgets, and I go, you can't do it for that. You can't replace your appliances and remodel your kitchen, because unless you can repaint a kitchen, you can put new tile backsplash up, you can do some updates, but you're not really doing a remodel.
And we differentiate remodels from facelifts, or even, there's a gut job and then there's a facelift.
Right.
And they're very different. And they have very different budgets and expectations. I think you should educate yourself to get every single thing you would want in your kitchen remodel, and then back out what you may want to adjust. And so get a realistic view of what that's going to cost you. And then if that's not in your budget, then try to decide where you can save before you ever make a decision to tear out a wall or move anything. Have a plan before you start.
The planning, the most important part of any project, particularly a kitchen, because a kitchen has gazillions of parts. Everything in it is mechanical. And so when you move a cooktop, you're moving a gas line. If you move a sink, you're moving water lines, drains, things like that. And so you have to have a plan really on paper. If you're taking multiple quotes, you need to have a plan on paper.
You do. And you really need to have everything decided before you start. It makes the process so much more smooth, and it helps you not be out of your kitchen any longer than necessary. Don't be making decisions about your countertop choice or selection the day before it's needed at the fabricator. Have all of those things decided, paid for, and on hold and ready to go.
If you're ordering things, particularly appliances, but let's say you're doing pre-finished cabinets, a lot of people are doing that now. Like Denise said, have all of that ordered, have that waiting for you to go in. And I tell people that all the time. I can do a kitchen pretty efficiently, pretty quickly, if I have that information going in and I'm basically putting pieces back together and I'm not having to wait. I think our biggest delay in most of these things is waiting on things to come to us. And okay, so let's talk about remodeling over the holidays. Whoa, that's not fun.
Move out or don't do it.
Just wait.
Another trend I think we should think about is when we remodel our kitchen next time, I'm telling my wife we're going to put in vending machines because she never cooks anymore. So we'll just put in vending machines.
I love it. That's a great idea.
That's what Uber Eats is for.
Yeah, absolutely.
Uber Eats. That's right. Get with it, man. That vending machine's there for you. What, are you going to put candy bars in it, or are you going to put hoagie burgers?
Yeah, we'll probably have some burgers.
A little bit of both.
Chicken sandwiches, pizza, stuff like that.
Oh my gosh! I'll tell you what. It's a good thing women are in this business.
Absolutely.
It really is.
It kind of
Brings a balance.
Keeps us out of trouble.
Although my husband cooks, he's a great cook, so he knows how to use the kitchen quite well.
I was raised by 5 women. I cook.
Me too.
It's good.
Unfortunately.
There's a difference between cooking and barbecuing, though. I just want to be very clear.
That's right.
One
do the
happens
turkey
outside
dressing.
and one happens inside.
One happens at Dickie's and one happens at the house.
That's true. That's true. No,
No, I told my wife I've been telling her for almost 40 years how lucky she is. For some reason, I always feel like I have to keep telling her that. I don't know. You know, when you're raised by women, you know how to cook, clean, and sew, and do dishes. And
Yeah.
she retired at 40.
she's smart.
She
sounds
was like, man, I don't need you. I don't need a maid. What do you mean a maid? I don't need a maid. I got you. Wow, what a fun show. This is quick. This went by really fast.
Zip
Really,
by.
really, really a lot of fun. Denise McGahey, contact her at DeniseMcGaheyInteriors.com. Contact Steve Lawton at TotalAirAndHeat.com. Contact Alex at RemodelRev.com or AlexGuthrie.net. However you want to get me, I'm easy. I want to thank Steve Lawton and Denise McGahey for spending time with us today. And thank you, Ziggy Becker, our producer, our cameraman, our director, our studio daddy. Thank you, On Air Media, for we love you. You're awesome. You take such great care of us. Thank you to our audience. You folks are fantastic. I hope you have had a wonderful Thanksgiving. We're going to do a show next week before Christmas. We'll see you then. Same time, same place, from deep in the heart of Texas. This is Remodel Revolution Radio signing off for this week. We'll see you next week.
You can catch Remodel Revolution anytime. Follow the show on the website, remodelrevolutionradio.com, or on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest, using the handle at Remodel Revolution Radio. You can always listen to the show on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, and TuneIn. And watch the show anytime on YouTube.